Get those wonderful toys. I can't wait to show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at both the brown and blue version of the new Neca Ultimate Xenomorph from the film Aliens. This is an Ultimate release, a re-release of a pre-existing release they released many years ago. The Ultimate release means it has enhanced articulation and increased accessories. This particular Xenomorph comes with not only an egg that's open and a face hugger, but also a chest burster and also increased articulation with the figures. Now you may notice in front of you there is not just one of each Xenomorph, but there are 3 of each, totaling 6 additional Xenomorphs to my Alien Hive. And why, do you ask? Well, you can't just have one Xenomorph. Now this is the first Alien action figure release we've received from Neca in quite a long time. The previous Neca release that we've seen would be Aliens Series 12, which was released back in August of 2017. It is now November of 2018. These Ultimate Xenomorphs were supposed to be released last year around October area, but Neca is experiencing a ton of factory issues. Quality control issues caused them to delay these figures for over an entire year. I believe these figures were intended with the Aliens 30th anniversary release, which would have been in 2016. I think these guys were originally scheduled for 2017, kind of dragging out that 30th anniversary release. But they're finally here. The wait is over. The Nectar factory errors are behind us. And we're going to be getting our Alien and Predator figures like we used to regularly. Now look at the front. We've got the alien face, like from the movie Aliens. Notice it says Ultimate Edition down here. The side, we've got Aliens. The top, more Aliens. On the other side, more Aliens. And on the bottom, useless junk. Backside kind of shows you what you're getting here. You're getting the blue Xenomorph in this particular package. You're getting the face hugger with the open egg and the chest burster. Gonna love adding all these guys to my army. Now it gives you a little description of what's going on. It says, the sole survivor of the Nostromo, Ripley, is discovered in cryogenic sleep 57 years later by a salvage ship. When she is taken back to Earth, Ripley learns that the company has established human colonists on the same planet where the alien attack originated. After all contact with the colony is lost, Ripley agrees to return to the planet accompanied by a team of colonial marines. Together they will rescue any survivors that remain and confront the alien menace head-on. Here's a quick shot of all the action figure boxes stacked up. Look at them, 6 more guys to join my hive. Here is a picture of the brown Xenomorph packaging at the front. I was considering doing a review on both the blue and the brown alien separately, but it seemed completely unnecessary as these figures are identical except for the shading and color of them. So like I said before, window box packaging, really do like it. These figures are available at Target, BigBadToyStore.com. I personally got mine to Amazon really quickly when they released. I got them with a bunch of other figures to save on shipping for me. Like I said, window box packaging. Can open it. They have kind of Velcro attached at the side here. Of course, these figures are already out of the package as I've had time to check them out. To prep for this video, once you open it, you can see the figure post here. This is where he came in the package. This is where the alien was. This is where the chest burster was. Here's the face hugger coming out of the egg. These guys looked really sharp in this package, but guess what? Frankly, I'm a lot more concerned how they're going to look outside the package. This figure was part of a motherload that I received in the mail today. 10-figure package of Neca figures from Amazon.com. You can see 2 Machikos, Hornhead, Broken Tusk, and then 3 of each of the Ultimate Aliens. Let's see what they look like inside. Now here are the aliens all out of their packaging. Just wanted to show you in all of their glory. The 6 Xenomorphs, the 6 open eggs, the 6 face huggers, and yes, of course, the 6 chest bursters. Now here is one of each of the figure out of the package, remaining just one of each on screen. I must say, Aliens is my favorite movie of all time, hands down. It has been since I was about 6 years old. I was personally born in '84, the movie came out in '86, so I didn't see it when it first came out, before I was 2, and I sure wouldn't have understood it. But I've liked that movie since I was a small child quite a bit. I know some of you probably think, oh, that's not appropriate for a small child, but whatever. My parents always, or my dad rather, always encouraged me to watch RoboCop, Terminator, Alien, Predator, those type of movies. Hardcore profanity and gore and action, and I really liked them. My favorite version of the Xenomorph with the rigid head, they only used it in one other film, which was Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. Arguably the worst alien film out there, but the design of the creatures was really nice in there. So I've been looking forward to these for quite a long time, and I'm happy to add them to my existing hive. I'm only going to focus on the blue figure moving forward, for they are truly identical except for the shading differences, blue and brown. Okay, before we fully go into looking at the figure, let's look at its accessories. There are 3 accessories: the open egg, the face hugger, and the chest burster. Now to start with the egg, let's follow the alien life cycle properly. So, egg, open egg, not really too much going on here. The coloring is pretty nice. I really like the different color here. I thought to myself, wow, that looks quite a bit better than the old one, but you know what? It's actually pretty much exactly the same as the old one. Here's a comparison. New one, old one. Honestly, they're pretty much identical. There's really no significant upgrade. It seems like the paint job is a little better on the new one. No articulation, nothing like that going on. So now let's check out the face hugger. Once again, not really an upgrade to the old one. It seems to be pretty much exact same thing. It's got this wire through the tail that allows you to keep it in different poses. You can wrap it around a human's neck while he's impregnating him, kind of like in the film. Here is the old face hugger compared to, I mean, literally there is no difference. Paint job is a little bit lighter on the new one, but that's probably just a slight variation of this particular factory or this particular face hugger. You can see the same paint variations as the older versions. Really no upgrade here. Both very nice. Happy to have more face huggers for my group. Once again, you can do kind of whatever you want with this tail. Wind it up all curly and etc., etc. And then we've got the chest burster. He's got his little arms up here. He also has the wire in the tail, so you can do the same thing. It also helps keep some stability when putting him down when you curl his tail. And then here he is compared to the older chest burster. Once again, really no differences. The coloring is slightly different. This would be the newest one. They both have the hands, little holes in there for the, I think, air to sort of not deteriorate this. I'm not really 100% sure why they're there. Like I said before, it's been a long time coming to get these aliens. I absolutely love army building. I'm really big into it, especially with an aliens hive. This figure is an ultimate of a previously released figure, and I wasn't quite into army building back then. I only got one blue Xenomorph originally, and I have gotten a second one since then. But now I decided to get 3 of each of these, 6 of them, because frankly I just feel like I need more aliens all the time to combat my giant collection of Marines. Well, let's go ahead and check out the size of this Xenomorph, the height. These figures are in a 7-inch scale, so the alien is traditionally, I don't know, about 8 feet tall. He should be 8+ inches. Even though they're in the 7-inch scale, these figures are going to be bigger than 7 inches, for they are larger than 6 feet tall in the film. So this guy here appears to be almost 9 inches tall. Looks like he goes to right at the bottom of my finger. Looks like he's about 8 3/4 inches tall, which is pretty cool. I love how big they are. Now I would like to look at this guy's articulation. While we're doing that, I want to compare him to the older Xenomorph as well and compare their articulation. Here is the older non-ultimate version of the blue alien. They look pretty much the same, just a few minor differences. So I'll be focusing on the new one and trying to compare him to the old one at the same time. So I do want to talk about one thing. This has always been a sort of feature of the alien figures. This back fin, or whatever you want to call it, is removable. On the new ones, they're very tight. I actually don't want to remove this because it feels like it's really sturdy, and some of the older ones fall out very easily. Let's go ahead and show you on the old version. This area here pops out, and sometimes it pops out really easily and falls out and can be frankly very annoying. So let's check out this guy's head. So as far as up and down, it doesn't have a big range of motion. It goes up about, all right, get out of the way. It goes up about, that is as high as it goes up, and it goes down that far, and I did move his waist a little bit, so it really doesn't have a lot of up and down motion. It does go around side to side. Really not too many problems. We have this wire here that I was concerned was going to break, but really it can go this far around, and it's putting a little bit of stress on it at that point. It's about as far as you want to take it. I would love for it to be able to look back farther. That way, if you had them crouching on all fours, he'd be able to look forward, but really doesn't work with this guy. That is something they definitely did in the movies. So the head, I would say, is truly identical on these guys, and as far as the articulation, it's also identical. Even if you remove this back fin, it doesn't really increase how far back it can go. Next, let's look at the shoulders. So once again, this is the newer figure. His shoulders go out completely all the way across. They go around, there's a ball joint in there, so out that far, back in, no problem, up all the way, around all the way. Compared to the older figure, his shoulders go out pretty much the same amount, and then back in, up, down. One thing I have noticed about the newer figure, it's actually a lot harder to get the inner jaw out. I have to really work with it. Now this guy's jaw comes way open. I almost feel uncomfortable doing that. But I really have to really get in there to pull this thing out. It's pretty tight, really difficult to do. If this takes too long, I'll end up pausing it. I hate being so rough with this guy. It really makes me uncomfortable. But it comes out really far. Once again, it's really hard to get out in all of my new ones. The old one I've had for many years, so it's kind of loose, but it can come out very easily. Let him fall. That's the new one. Here's the old one. His mouth opens. I can pretty much just tap him, or at least on most of them I can, and it comes out. This is not doing very good for me on this video. Come on, guys. Alright, well, I guess I lied. It's pretty much just as hard on both of them. I will say the older one, it's definitely a little bit easier to get that out. Next up, the new one. You would think he would have a bicep cut here, but he has absolutely nothing. Now, I found that very interesting because the old one does have a bicep cut here. His arm can go around here, whereas the new one does not have that. For an ultimate release that's supposed to have this increased articulation, definitely a little disappointed about this missing bicep cut. Now, addressing the quality control, it's not really something that can't be fixed, but a lot of people aren't going to be able to fix this, and frankly, it's really annoying. The elbows, double jointed, which is great, are stuck on pretty much all 6 of my new ones. I've been using hot water to try to free a couple of them up, and it's worked a little bit, but it's going to require a lot more work. So there's a ball joint sort of here and down here, but the articulation is not working properly on a lot of it. They also are double jointed, but not in the traditional sense. There's a joint up here, and they both can go up and down. Now, this top one seems to be working. This actually whole arm is pretty much freed up, so it can close to about here. It can open up. That top part is working really well. This bottom part actually seems to also be freed up, so we're good on this particular arm. Now you can see, once again, you can go to at least here, and then back out to here. They both can turn up and down on, it looks like maybe just the top one. Now the bottom one can do it, but it's hindered a little bit from this extra stuff. There is this bit of armor, or I don't know what you want to call it, on the back of the elbow. It actually slides underneath and under the, like, sort of the exoskeleton, or whatever you want to call it. I thought that would hinder the articulation, but it really doesn't. It kind of just slides up in there. Now, looking at the old one, I believe this is how the articulation really should be. This guy's, I've had him for many years, so he's kind of loose. But you can see this back sort of armor piece on the back of his elbow. Goes all the way in there, no problem. Can scratch his head. Lot more range of motion on the old one. I think the new one can achieve this. It's just going to need a lot of work with hot water. I'm not going to lie, I find that, frankly, pretty annoying. So next we've got the hands. We've got a little bit of a ball joint type thing down here. Hinged wrist up and down. Can go all the way around. And then he has articulation in his fingers right here. That is something new for this ultimate release. Can go pretty much all the way back and open up. You can grab somebody, then choke him, grab him, pull him back to impregnate him at the hive. The old alien had absolutely nothing going on inside of here. And his fingernails are painted quite a bit differently. As you can see, this one actually has fingernails painted on. This one has, I believe the area was sort of sculpted there, but not exactly painted. The hands are quite a bit different. Kind of see here. So next we've got, this is the new alien. Just to remind you, I'm going to be showing him first every time. He's got an ab crunch here and a pretty nice range of motion. He can twist around like he's dancing, can spin around. Does feel tight. You can kind of hear those noises, but it's not stuck or anything, so I'm not worried about that. Old one, pretty much the same thing going on there. As far as the hips, they can go out really far in this guy. Pretty much do the splits, which looks kind of crazy. They have this sort of cover right here that kind of gets in the way when you're trying to go up. I mean, he really only goes up this far, not 90 degrees, and goes back. Really interesting, a lot farther than I thought. As far as the old one, you can go up. I mean, you can see it's sort of stretching this soft goods right here, which kind of tries to free up as much articulation as you can, and it goes back pretty much all the way, and the splits, not quite as far on the old one, but really not bad. So we've got double jointed knees. You can move around at the top part and not at the bottom part. Can bend. Here's just the top part bent, and then there's the back part bending as well. Then he's got his leg, ankle. It can rock a little bit back and forth. Can go up and down. That far, pretty nice actually. Then he has toe articulation. I thought that's kind of cool. Can allow him to sort of crouch and have different support and ways to stand him up. Now the old one had toe articulation, but it was done differently, which is kind of interesting. By the way, the old one had double jointed knees, and they work different than the new one. You can kind of see here's the newer one. He's got this sort of ball at the top, which allows him to move around. I don't believe the older one had that. He cannot move his knee around. He does have double jointed knees, and they can go kind of all the way up, just like the new one, but it is definitely increased articulation on the newer one. The old one has toe articulation, but I noticed that the old one is back in this area, whereas the new one is in the sort of more front area. Just kind of interesting. And then, as always, the newer alien, just like the old one, has a wire in his tail, so you can have it wrap around people. You can have it do all kind of different things. For the most part, what I use the tail for is to keep stability, keep them standing up. I like to lean them back on the tail, so that they aren't going to fall over. Kind of lean them backward. Really the best way to get them to stand. They can definitely stand freely, but it can be quite difficult to do at times. We have seen this enhanced articulation on a couple of other Xenomorph figures. The smooth domed head figure that came in the 2-pack with Burke had the extra finger articulation, as well as the battle damage Xenomorphs that they re-released with Series 12. They had the ultimate articulation. These guys were supposed to come out shortly afterwards, but the factory delays sure put a halt to that. I just want to take a sec to look at the reuse between the two figures. Now, I would personally say the head is going to be absolutely identical, even the mouth, the little wire thing here. The neck looks exactly the same. The back fin and tubes are pretty much the same. They're colored a little bit differently. I noticed the older one, it's a little bit blacker, and the newer one, it has more blue. The arms are going to be a little bit different because this one has the bicep cut, which I'm really sort of in shock that they dropped for the ultimate release. The elbows are quite a bit different. It looks like they're using, I'm pretty sure, the same hand. They just switched out what's inside the joint here. Not hand, but the forearm. The hands are considerably different. We've got the finger articulation. Their chest pieces really look about the same to me. I think their articulation is pretty much the same here. This area is the same as well. The legs are, I believe, the same, just slightly painted a little bit different. The bottom part of the legs are going to be the same. The feet are going to be a little bit different because the articulation has changed. The knee articulation itself is a little bit different. They sort of added this extra segment in here. Should make him a tiny bit taller, but really can't tell the difference. Well, now that we've gone over the articulation, let's get some comparison shots between him and some other figures. So here he is compared to the brown Ultimate Xenomorph. Like I said, they're pretty much identical. I think I prefer the blue one. It kind of seems like that was more movie accurate than the brown one, but the brown one is, I don't know, looks kind of more like a default or a normal alien, so kind of a toss between the two. They're both what I would call normal, standard colors for an alien. Here he is compared to the non-Ultimate prior blue alien release. Here are all of my blue aliens, Xenomorphs. The 2 at the front are the older versions, and the 3 at the back are the Ultimate versions. Here is the blue Ultimate Xenomorph compared to 3 blue battle damage Xenomorphs I have. On the far left here, this one is the oldest version. He came a 2-pack with helmeted Marine. Then we've got the Ultimate non-damage edition. Then we've got the 2 Series 12 versions of the battle damage Xenomorph. I notice the coloring is a lot more neon green on this one. It's a lot more vibrant on the original. These ones look a little more kind of like I would expect them to look from the movies. These ones were made with the Ultimate body. They have the finger articulation. They have no bicep cut at all. The current Ultimate one was supposed to be released pretty close to them, but all these delays. But pretty much the exact same body. I did enjoy getting these guys, but I'm enjoying getting these guys a whole lot more. Here is the blue Xenomorph compared to the new brown Ultimate Xenomorph. They're pretty much the exact same thing. Just going to show them together for a second here. Here on the right hand side are the 3 Ultimate brown Xenomorphs, and here is the original non-Ultimate brown Xenomorph. They all look very similar, but the old one has the articulation differences that I pointed out earlier. I did notice one thing, that on the newer ones they all have their toenails painted white, and the old one they were just painted the rest of the skin color. Now here's the brown Xenomorph compared to the 3 damaged brown Xenomorphs that I have. This is the Series 12 release, this is the Ultimate one, this is another Series 12 release, and here's the original release. I can definitely tell that because they have the finger articulation on both these guys. The coloring is a little more bland on the older guy as well, I can kind of tell. Now here's the Ultimate brown Xenomorph compared to the 3 smooth domed aliens from the Burke 2-pack. These guys are made with the Ultimate body with the extra articulation. I noticed they have the finger articulation, etc., etc. They're pretty much exactly the same body as the Ultimate releases, except they have a completely different head. They've got the smooth head. I believe this was concept that James Cameron was originally going to make for the film, but ended up not working out for him. Here is the brown Xenomorph next to the Haley's Hope sign, just like in the film. You can kind of see in the window box package here, here's the guy standing with the Haley's Hope sign in the background here. Really like that sign. Nice accessory to add to the movie collection. Now here's the brown Xenomorph compared with 3 black versions of the alien with the rigid head. I believe these aliens originally came in a 2-pack with a black rigid Xenomorph as well as a red rigid Xenomorph, an Aliens Comic Genocide 2-pack. I got one of those. Then when they re-released them as singles, they had the red one and the black one as singles. I got a couple more of each one. These are with the original body, not the Ultimate body. They don't have the finger articulation, but I was really happy to get a black version of this. They have the brown version, the blue version, the black version, and then I have seen a red tinted version, not to be confused with the fully red ones. I personally don't have any. I passed one up on eBay a long time ago and I regret it. I'm not sure if these were official releases or some kind of bootleg, but I've been keeping my eye out for one for quite a while now. Now here's the Ultimate Xenomorph compared to the 2 arcade game pink Xenomorph releases. These were also released as Ultimates. They came with an open egg, facehugger, and chestburster as well. Of course, they were colored considerably differently. These guys have the finger articulation as well. It's kind of a taste or a tease of what was to come. Of course, what was to come is this guy, and we were expecting him a long time sooner, but very happy to have him now. Now here is the brown xenomorph compared to 2 white xenomorphs. I'm trying to predominantly focus my comparisons on other xenomorphs with rigid heads, using almost the exact same sculpt. I believe these were also concept art that was potentially going to be used in the movie and ended up being scrapped. These guys had really long tongues as well. And now here's the brown Ultimate Xenomorph compared to 3 of the red Genocide aliens. Pretty much the exact same sculpt as the prior brown release, but they are in a different hive in my action figure universe. Now here's the brown Xenomorph compared to the old McFarlane Aliens figure. He is far less articulated, but he always has a special place in my heart as he came first of all of them. Here he is compared to the big chap from the first Alien film. I'm going to try to run through a quick comparison of him versus all the other Alien film figures. And here are the Ultimate Aliens mixed with a bunch of other xenomorphs from the movie Aliens, this Queen's hive. This is exactly what I got these for, army building with the rest of them. Here he is in the center compared to some Alien 3 dog aliens. Now Neca hasn't made any Alien Resurrection figures yet, but they're upcoming in, I believe, Series 14, which has been fully revealed to us. In the meantime, here he is in the center compared to 2 McFarlane Alien Resurrection figures. Here he is compared to some Alien vs. Predator Alien figures. Now I must say, these figures are absolutely fantastic. If you don't have the Alien vs. Predator Warrior, you should get it. It might possibly be the best Alien figure that Neca has made so far. Here he is compared to a much older Neca figure, the Alien Warrior from Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Neca, I believe, has stated they are going to make the Alien vs. Predator figures in Series 15 after Resurrection, but we have not fully seen them yet. The Alien Sewer mutated warrior, I believe San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of some sort, is going to be using the body that will be the majority of the Alien vs. Predator warrior, I believe. And then, of course, after Alien vs. Predator was released, it was a while before we got another Alien film, and Prometheus came out. Here he is stacked up to the Deacon figure, not your traditional Alien. And then, of course, here he is next to Alien Covenant warriors. So now we also have these 6 additional eggs, chestbursters, and facehuggers. I cannot wait to add them to the rest of my Alien nursery. Those chestbursters sure will fit in with my Alien nursery nicely. Somehow I've got to make room for these new 6 Alien eggs on my Alien egg shelf. Here he is compared to an engineer figure. And of course here he is next to some Predator figures. Here he is next to 2 human marine figures, Hicks and Hudson. A lot smaller, they're probably about 6 feet tall, and he's a good 8 feet tall. And here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. A bunch of aliens versus a bunch of colonial marines. The whole reason I got these figures. Tons of xenomorphs versus a whole bunch of marines. Just a small portion of what we got going on. All in all, this is a great figure. The likeness is absolutely fantastic. Articulation is really superb. Detail is great. The inner jaw comes out. I mean, what more can you ask for? Well, me personally, I would ask for a little better articulation in the sense of crawling on all fours, looking forward, being able to climb on ceilings, things like that. These are things I actually did in the film. This release is going to be less exciting for you if you already have the previous release of the pretty much exact same figures, which I do, but these still excite me because I'm huge into army building. Boy, I've got so many xenomorphs at this point. I'm sure you can imagine that you only saw a portion of what I have. If you want these figures, or you think you want them, I guarantee you do want them. They're great figures. You do need them. If you haven't got the previous ones, this is a godsend for you because those ones cost a pretty penny to get nowadays, and they haven't re-released them in quite some time. So if you want them, go get them. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, press like below. If you want to see additional videos, press subscribe. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.